Joining us now is Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. He's in Burlington. Senator Sanders, I want to start with this week's shooting and talking to Senator Rubio. He said, obviously, this was the man who did the shooting is responsible for his own actions. But in the wake of that, in this conversation about what leads to the heated political atmosphere, Senator Rubio pointed out, he said that when people try to stop free speech, stop people from talking, it creates pressure in the system that might cause people to act out. What do you think of that theory?
I think he's right. Look, freedom of speech, the right to dissent, the right to protest, that is what America is about. And politically, every leader in this country and every American has got to stand up against any form of violence. That is unacceptable. And I certainly hope and pray that Representative Scalise has a full recovery from the tragedy that took place this week.
There's been a lot of protests on campuses when people come to speak. People have protested and said they shouldn't be allowed to speak. Where do you come down on that in the context of this pressure on free speech?
I think people have a right to speak. And you have a right, if you're on a college campus, not to attend. You have a right to ask hard questions about the speaker if you disagree with him or her. But why should we be afraid of somebody coming on a campus or any place else and speaking? You have a right to protest. But I don't quite understand why anybody thinks it's a good idea to deny somebody else the right to express his or her point of view. I think, John, what is very clear is we are at a contentious and difficult political moment in our country's history. I have very grave concerns about the Trump agenda. Right now, we're not looking. There's a health care proposal in the Senate, which nobody has seen yet. But the proposal that passed the House, as you know, would throw 23 million Americans off of health insurance. I mean, that to me is just incredible. It would raise premiums very significantly for older workers. It would defund Planned Parenthood and deny 2.5 million women the right to get the health care that they want, cut Medicaid by over $800 billion. I would say the vast majority of the American people have strong disagreements with that approach. But you don't have to be violent about it. Let's disagree openly and honestly, but violence is not acceptable.
I want to get to the details of that health care plan in a moment, or the details you don't know at the moment. But let me just staying on this question here. Is anything going to change in the wake of this in Washington, at least in the way lawmakers deal with each other? And is there something that should change?
I think, and again, where this is such a strange moment is we're looking at a lot of dishonest news that comes across where people are lying outrageously about other people. And I hope that folks on all sides could say, look, I disagree with him or her, but that is an outrageous lie. But let us, on the other hand, be frank, there are real differences of opinions that exist in Congress. It's not like, you mentioned Marco Rubio. I like Marco Rubio. But we disagree on issues, and people should understand it's not that there's all kinds of hatred. In the Congress, there's a fundamental disagreement. President Trump brought forth a budget which will go nowhere, but this is a budget that over a 10-year period would give $3 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%, the very wealthiest families in America, while making massive cuts in education, in health care, in nutrition programs, really devastate the working class of this country. I disagree with that. But obviously that debate has got to be played out based on the facts, and let's debate it.